that would be Metaverse. So let's talk about virtual reality first of all. So when we talk about virtual reality, it's about a virtual world where you wear a certain device to actually view that world in 3D. So you have a virtual sky, you have virtual ground. If you look around, that will be a virtual world surrounding you. So that's virtual reality. You can have a presence in
What is metaverse? I have personally very limited idea about the word metaverse, but with us is the creative head of Yeppar, Mr. Sashank, and
Hello.
he'll be able to give us a complete understanding of the universe of metaverse. So, hi Sashank.
Hello,
My
sir.
first question to you is, what is metaverse and how it is different from the world of virtual reality?
Right. So virtual reality, augmented reality. So these are new technologies for us. Um, but then we have a new word, a buzzword, that would be Metaverse. So let's talk about virtual reality first of all. So when we talk about virtual reality, it's about a virtual world where you wear a certain device to actually view that world in 3D. So you have a virtual sky, you have virtual ground. If you look around, that will be a virtual world surrounding you. So that's virtual reality. You can have a presence in there. What do I mean by presence? So basically you are present over there. That's what I mean by when you look around, you will see a virtual world. So you have your physical movements, but you can do that in a virtual world. So that's VR for you. But then we talk about metaverse, and they both are similar, right? So that is very much true. Metaverse is more like multiplayer VR. It's a shared space. It's a shared space where you, me, everyone can actually have a connect in a virtual space. So metaverse is like a shared space. It's a three-dimensional space where we actually having a talk. We can play a game. We can have various experiences like visiting Agra, visiting various places together, and together we can form memories over there. We can store those memories in files basically. So everything is bits, zero and ones. So when you talk about metaverse, it's a very large term, but if we look at the word, it's more like universe, right? It's a meta universe. So universe has everything inside it, right? It's a whole entity. So metaverse is like a digital universe. Everything is meta. Meta would be like self-referential. Meta would be like the next thing as Facebook. Sorry, Meta. So Meta would say. So that would be it. Like metaverse and VR is more like on the same terms, but it's about VR is an experience. It's a game. It's an experience. But metaverse is more than that. It's a shared space where everybody is together. Like you can have an economic system over there. You can earn there. You can actually have friends over there. But it's like social platform, but it's a shared space where you have memories over there as well. You have interactions over there as well. You have a presence over there. You can interact in the same space.
Correct. I think a very good understanding of what metaverse as the word is. But I had just one query. As a common man, can you help us with some of the examples of metaverse where we'd be able to use it in our daily lives or in our daily, as a common man?
Right. Usability of, so we are talking about metaverse being used in a daily life. So currently we have internet, right?
Yes.
It connects us, right? So to have an instant presence of somebody else, that would be where the metaverse would actually come into play. So we are having this conversation over here. So when we are talking about our daily lifestyle, so we are talking about our relatives. We can feel that they are with us in front of us and we're talking to them. So that would be the daily
So
thing.
maybe way forward, a marriage ceremony can also take place without actually people being present in a physical space, correct?
So marriage can actually happen while other people are present, but not for the bride and groom.
Great. I think all of us have got a fair idea about the word metaverse. My next question would be Sashank that all of us keep hearing this new word called NFT.
Right.
I would like to understand, how NFT is part of the larger ecosystem of metaverse.
Yeah, so people actually find a use of NFT in metaverse. The reason would be, first of all, NFT. Why NFT basically? So it's a non-fungible token. It's a very ugly word, ugly name. So NFT would be non-fungible. That means that if suppose you have something, right? You can replace it with something else. So that's fungible. But you want to have something non-fungible, which you can't replace with something else. So if I give an apple and you want to eat an apple, if I replace this apple with another apple, it makes no sense, right?
Correct.
It's a replaceable thing. But if I replace it with an orange, you want to eat an apple, I give you an orange, it makes no sense, right? So fungible would be like if I replace, it's a replaceable thing, but if I replace it with something else which has a unique value, so that's non-fungible token. So you can replace that thing. That's where the non-fungible thing comes in, because you are replacing it with something unique, so it's not replaceable. So in Metaverse, you don't have any. Suppose you bought a digital good, right? You paid some cryptocurrency for it. You paid with real cash with it, and then actually showcase it in your space. What will you do with it? If you purchase an NFT, so how can you tell me that you have purchased an NFT? You can't basically. You're going to show me some image of it which can be replicated, but in Metaverse, you can actually display your NFTs.
Okay.
Because it's a virtual world, you can, in that virtual world, you can actually display the NFTs. So that's where the link comes in. Second of all, when you are actually buying an NFT, how do you know it's if you are buying a digital good, how do you know it's a actual thing? But since NFT is on a blockchain, so you are actually sure that your purchase is from a correct place. So your ownership is true.
Sure, great. How different is NFT from a cryptocurrency, or is it a subset of cryptocurrency?
So cryptocurrency and NFT, they both belong to blockchain technology. They both are based on blockchain. So they both have value, but cryptocurrency is like a decentralized ledger. They both are basically the same thing, but that's a currency, and that's NFT is basically something that's recorded as ownership, and that has a ownership basically. So if I own an NFT, if I record this session and actually give it as a NFT, so that would be I own that thing. That's the idea.
Correct.
I own that video.
Okay.
I own that image. I own that song. So that's where the NFT comes in. So NFT would be more of a passive income for many people, because once you sell off your digital asset, more people can actually when they resell it, the earlier people who actually created it, who have the ownership to it, they will actually get the royalty out of it. So that was the NFT.
I think that sums up our idea about NFT and how it is associated with Metaverse.
Right.
I have a very interesting question coming on, which is, I have few examples of Metaverse, kind of related to Metaverse, and I'll probably love to have your opinion on which is a better example of Metaverse.
Right.
It's a combination of movies and games. So when I say movie, I have Matrix, Fortnite game, Beat Saber multiplayer, Half-Life, Alex game, another movie called Ready Player, and another experience called Decentraland. So which out of these options is the closest to Metaverse?
Interesting. So Matrix would be, it's a movie.
Correct.
Keanu Reeves stars in it. So Matrix would be a metaverse, but it's more of a simulation rather than a metaverse. But yes, many of the rules of metaverse does apply over there. Like you can live over there, you can earn over there, you have a total life over there, and you die in the Matrix as well. But by concept, it's more of a metaverse. Yes, you have many you have social groups over there inside Matrix, but it's a simulation thing, because you're not in a VR, you're not using device to actually see the virtual world. You are actually inside a simulation. So that's more of a brain Neuralink like thing.
Correct.
Like Elon Musk is creating the Neuralink. It's more of that thing, basically BCI thing. Then we have the Fortnite game. So yeah, we have many people actually coming and playing together. Togetherness is over there. There's a gameplay element over there. So yes, indeed, it has that friends aspect of the metaverse, but it's not in VR. It's not immersive enough. So it would not be a metaverse example.
A multiplayer.
It's not immersive. That's why. I mean, it has many aspects of it. You have skins over there. Avatar system is over there, but it's not in VR. It's not immersive enough. So it's not metaverse.
Correct. I think very clear on that. A multiplayer game called Beat Saber. Yeah.
So Beat Saber is an Oculus game now. So it has a multiplayer aspect to it, but it's a VR experience. It's a game basically. It's a replayable game, and it is competitive, but it's not metaverse. I mean, it does not have a connecting world. I mean, you can't actually go to the other zones apart from this one game.
How about Half-Life, Alex? Okay.
It has all the presence that you require for a VR experience. It has the tactile feel to the whole immersive experience, but it's not multiplayer. You can't invite your friends into it. So again, it does not have that togetherness thing. You can't earn over. You don't have economy over there. So it's not a metaverse thing.
Okay. Another very interesting movie which I've seen is called Ready Player One. How close is that?
Right. So Ready Player One actually tick marks all the check boxes because it has everything in it. You can play. You can connect with another. You are basically you have a virtual shop, you marketplace. You can purchase something digitally, and it will actually get shipped to your house.
Yes.
So it checks all the tick marks. So Ready Player One is the actual example for metaverse.
Okay, great. So Ready Player comes very close to a metaverse.
It is the one.
How about Decentraland, which is also an experiential platform? If I'm not.
This unfortunately is not immersive enough. You can't play over there. It's more like you have a land over there. It's a digital land. You're purchasing it, and you create a digital home over there. You can display your stuff over there. It's a gathering digitally, but it's not immersive. It's not a metaverse as per my understanding. It's not a metaverse. But Ready Player One, out of all of these, is very much close to the metaverse thing because it shows everything that you have economy over there. There's people involved, and they can go together to some other places. You can earn. There's economy system over there, and then you can actually purchase something digitally. It will come. It will ship to your house. So that's actual thing. Be a more better example to suit it for metaverse example.
So, out of curiosity, I wanted to ask that how do a common man or a person like me, how do we access metaverse? I mean, how do we get inside a metaverse, or what is the best way to access it?
Interesting question. So yeah, so there's a lot of talk about metaverse, but there's not much actually information about how do you access a metaverse. So earlier you did ask basically whether
Yes.
do we actually need metaverse? Do we actually is it different than VR? So yes, VR is the most obvious way to use metaverse. You just wear a device, you use the controllers or your hands. Hand tracking will actually do your hand inputs. So that would be one way. But again, companies have not yet actually defined how metaverse is going to be. Is it just VR, or some things can be carried forward to augmented reality as well, where actually you see the world, and in the world you can actually see the digitized thing like 3D graphics. It can be text, it can be a Google map, it can be anything in AR basically. So that can be carried forward to there. So AR could be another way to actually see metaverse thing, where you actually point your phone or your smart glasses, anything. So in that space, in your space basically, you can see your loved ones in the as a metaverse experience, basically a shared experience. So it's not just the VR thing that you actually wear a device and use it to have a VR experience. There can be also an augmented reality experience as well. Even that can be a part of metaverse. But by definition, by the earlier definitions, VR was the only way, because you actually are transported into a different world through the illusions, basically 3D illusions, and with that you're actually having a shared experience. So that was one way to go with metaverse. That is VR. But currently, even Facebook is trying to have a AR component as well into the metaverse thing. So a common person can actually have the application downloaded and can actually run it.
So, I mean, generally the perception is to access a metaverse, do you actually need a glasses or something, or some kind of a gadget which a common man has to buy?
Indeed, yes. Currently, yes. You do have your phones, so you do have actually surface scanning, and you can actually see 3D models up over there and have an experience like you can see a 3D projection or avatar of somebody else, and you together are seeing a real estate property onto your drawing room. That is very much possible. Besides this, if you actually want to experience the immersive content, that would be VR. So metaverse, since metaverse is actually a very immersive thing, it's a immersive platform, so that would be very much accessible in the best form in VR only. So if you have actually via Oculus Quest or Index, it would be very immersive for you.
Great. So it's important that we have the right gadget to experience the best of metaverse.
The best of metaverse, yes.
Okay, so I think now that the market has a lot of technologies emerging up, so how important or what is the actual need of this metaverse, since you already have an AR version running into market and a lot of evolving technology? So is metaverse really required in current scenario? Is it the need of the hour, or is it just a play game here?
Right. So that's a good question. Do we actually need metaverse? So it's not about need basically. Metaverse is actually inevitable. It is a natural progression actually. Why I would say that? Let me explain. So metaverse again. So we actually talking about technology growing, right? So at first we had radio. We contacted other people through radio. Then came the satellites. So we actually came up with the internet. Then we have the internet basically. So from radio to satellites to internet. Now we have the instant connect. So the next step would be instant presence. Instant presence because you actually can see the other person with all his behaviors in front of you. So that's why actually you need metaverse, because metaverse is a massive playground, massive area where you actually exist and the other person exists as well. So because both are virtual, they can appear at the same time in a virtual space anytime. So because we want the instant connect and instant presence, we want to feel that the other person is over here. So just not a image, it's more like somebody is actually present over here. So that's why it's a natural progression. It's an evolution of that thing. Then our education system is 2D, but now we need the 3D thing, right? So because everything in the real world is 3D, so understanding something in 3D makes more sense, because everything, even me in this room, everything is basically 3D. So when we look in 3D, we can comprehend something more in 3D as well. So that's why metaverse, that's why every learning is converted into VR thing. That's the reason. So again, metaverse is an immersive thing. So immersive learning is another step basically. So that's why it's more of an inevitable thing.
Great. One of the questions which just came to my mind is like, internet is there everywhere. We use internet in our daily life.
Yes.
So how will metaverse be incorporated or be collaborated with the current internet system? And will they go parallelly or will they function as separate technologies?
A very short answer to that question would be like, yeah, so metaverse would require internet to have that connectivity.
Correct.
That's one thing. But to answer this in a different manner would be like each company would actually have their own operating system.
Correct.
Will they have their own software? Will have their own hardware? So I think there would be some change after some technology actually get involved. So each company, mainly Meta, so they would actually create their own operating system, their own hardware. So there would be one ecosystem.
Correct.
So they will try to actually get everybody on their platform and then have them actually interconnected. So this internet thing would be like it's a connecting factor, but the way you actually log in, where you actually behave, and the way you actually connect will be a lot different in future basically. So internet, yes, it will be the connecting factor, but everything would be self-contained in one bubble. So each company will have their own bubble of metaverse, and that's why they actually targeting. That's why Facebook, Meta, is actually forcing. It's actually torchbearers over here. They're actually capturing a lot of market just in case that they will actually get the whole everybody on board and actually have a small ecosystem where they will actually connect everybody.
So I think both the technologies will run parallel together, and I think that's the need of the hour.
Internet would be the connecting factor,
Correct.
but metaverse would be a whole different game as soon as more people come on board.
Thank you. I think you've answered that question very well. We spoke about NFT as being part of Metaverse. So how are avatars related to Metaverse? Are they an important part of Metaverse?
Indeed. So basically, avatars is how you basically see the other person. So that's the entire idea. Like, how do you want to project yourself? That's one thing. The other part is basically how do you see the other person. So that's how you actually make it a customized experience for yourself. So suppose I want to be a very happy person today. So I would be a person with a smiley face. So I could be more intuitive. I could be more creative. I could actually shell out money to actually buy some avatar, which is basically NFTs. So it could be a character who is Ronald McDonald from the McDonald's. So I could be Sachin Tendulkar. I could be anybody. So it depends on how I am basically. Um, so even at Yeppar, we actually do the emotive thing basically through avatars. So we are creating a rig system which has basically calculations on how your body is actually behaving, and we are showcasing that as a virtual mirror. So basically in the metaverse or in VR, you can actually see the other person doing the interactions. So what we are creating at Yeppar is basically how to perceive others and how to show yourself in VR space. So that can be actually taken into metaverse because it's the extension of it. It has more features of it. So it's basically VR, and we are creating avatars for VR basically. So avatars not just in metaverse. So yeah, so basically metaverse influences as in today are people of flesh and blood, right?
Correct.
But once we get to the digital age, it will be all AI would be a part of it. Even today, there are Twitch streamers who are basically AIs. So even bots can be in the Twitch screens. They just play the entire game, and you would be seeing bot playing a game. Even that's entertaining for people. The entire idea is that something that's 0 and 0 1, 0 1 and 0 1, how they're actually understanding our complex things and actually responding to the things, so, like playing game, which is a very fun activity. So just like that, they have AI influencers, virtual influencers, avatar influencers, who actually they are that fantasy elements, and they actually use the everyday skincare product or anything they are selling it. And the reason these grab eyeball is because that's something that has a perfect image, and then they're actually doing something which is very daily thing. So even these influencers are coming to play, and these are avatars only. They are very emotive, they are expressive, and they are on demand basically. Like however you want to see them, they can appear just like that because they're virtual, because they're digital. So that's the entire idea. And we actually since metaverse is all about presence, so the how you actually see the other person is very important. So if they are of appropriate avatar, that's more helpful, right?
I think a lot of emotions there.
Right.
We talk about technologies in the market, and I think AR, VR is already a very established technology. But the general perception is, or the general question is Metaverse a better or a more evolved technology with respect to AR, VR?
Right, exactly. So metaverse is actually a culmination of many technologies, and keep adding 5G, keep adding more technologies to it, AI, everything. So that would be metaverse. But it's the best use case of AR and VR. We at Yeppar have been actually creating a lot of AR and VR experiences. We are creating application based on these technologies, and we have a lot of skill set for doing these things. So I won't say that VR is the only thing to go for metaverse. It's also augmented reality, because rules of metaverse have not been written in stone as of yet. It's still in process. Each company actually wants their own custom things inside a metaverse. They want to actually have their own set of rules. That's why we think that there would be many different metaverse existing for at least a decade or more. And after that, there will be one combined metaverse. There could be one. So yeah, so just having a VR and AR skill set will not actually help in the long run. We also have the multiplayer, because we need a shared space where we will have the VR experience, or the experience which we will share with other and have memories. So that's what we are striving for, and that's why everybody is actually working for the metaverse thing, because it's a best use case for these evolving technologies like AR and VR, which is augmented reality and virtual reality. It's the best use case. That's why everybody is actually going after it.
Super. So I think probably the next year we'll see a lot of focus on this new technology, and at Yeppar also you'll be able to drive a lot of projects related to that.
Indeed. They're really hoping for to actually remove the display screens altogether. Getting rid of this, because in VR you can have a giant screen, right?
Correct.
You can have multiple screens on a wall, but in real world you can have just a physical screen. You're staring at a monitor. But in VR or in AR, you can have multiple monitors. You can have Facebook running over there, YouTube over there, and your entire Twitch stream over there. You can play a game in front of you, and multiple screens can be used for in your own space. So basically, you won't have a furniture or a decorative item in future. You will have those smart glasses. You will see a NFT over here or something over there. So basically, in future, display screens will be less over there, more of smart glasses and the virtual reality.
Cool. So I'm sure we're going to see a lot of action next year.
Hopefully.
Thank you. I think thank you very much. I think a beautiful set of examples, and we got clarity about what exactly Metaverse is.
Okay.
Another interesting question which I wanted to ask, you have been an integral part of Yeppar as a key team member, and you head the creative division of Yeppar. So, what is your personal view about the entire concept of Metaverse?
Okay, interesting. So I joined Yeppar as a game designer. So being a game designer, I would say that whenever there is a new technology involved, to make it acceptable to the people, it's very important that game designers come forward. So when we create games, we make things approachable and acceptable at the same time. So you can approach to a technology, you will not feel, you will get trained to it, you will get used to it, like how does things functions, because we create those mechanics to make you realize that something A is this, B is this, and it works in certain manner. So we can actually condition your brain to actually understand something and work around it to actually have fun. And when you have fun, you have engagement, and if you have engagement, you can create an involved scenario where you actually get more understanding of it. So being at Yeppar, creating games and gamified things, I think we have been actually making a lot of fun factor inside the experiences. So just because this entire metaverse thing is like a multiplayer VR, more of a massively multiplayer role-playing scenario experience, shared experience. So we are actually creating that thing over at Yeppar. We are actually creating a shared space where you actually have an economic system over here. We are actually creating a shared space where you can actually call your colleagues over and have their presence inside. Meaning that why exactly do we need VR when we can have Zoom calls, right? The reason is because when you have presence, like you, first of all, the technology has been growing rapidly, right? So at first we have instant connect. We had radio, then we had the internet, and now we have the instant presence. Like you can connect anybody in London right now, and you can see them through video call, right? But now you can actually see them with your present in your environment, basically. So you wear the headset, you can see their mannerism as well. So suppose I always sit like this, so you would see the other person sitting like that, in the avatar form or in their real form as well. So we can have that thing. So that's why we actually need the instant presence. At first we had instant connect. Now we were actually gradually moving towards instant presence. So that's what we are creating right now. Those mannerisms are coming through the VR devices and the VR inputs like controllers and everything. So at Yeppar, we're actually creating that MMORPG thing in VR. So that would be metaverse for people.
So I think the keyword which you said is fun with experience. I think probably that's the mantra.
Also shared.
Of the shared. Correct.
Shared. So many people are together, having fun and actually creating memories in the metaverse.
Great. I think absolutely great to have your perspective on the ecosystem of Metaverse and your own personal view and how Yeppar is committed towards utilizing a lot of aspects of Metaverse. Thank you.
Thank you.